All right, guys, there seems to be a lot of questions about this and a lot of confusion and a lot of things that just people don't realize or understand. So let's get it. But Jerry, what happens if I invert my subs? Are they louder? Do I need to reverse the polarity of them? So actually, the question's been popping up all over the place. Like, what happens when you invert your subs? Do you need to reverse the speaker wires and all of that jazz? And everybody's like, but it gives you more airspace in the enclosure because the sub's not in there displacing it. Yeah, it does do that. But what a lot of people don't realize is when they do that, if your enclosure really isn't designed for it, even though you gain, I don't know, anywhere from an eighth of a cube to maybe a little over half a cube, on depending upon the motor, how deep the sub is, etc. But when you gain that airspace, you lose port area, because therefore you've made the airspace in the enclosure bigger, but you've shrunk the port area because you got more airspace. So let's say you had, I don't know, we're just going to use 15. That's a pretty good common number. 15 square inches of port. And when the enclosure was built, you figured in the displacement of the subwoofer. So you flip the sub over, and not only did you gain the sub displacement in there, you've also gained airspace at the baffle thickness. And then now your cone is up here because your motor's up. You got a little bit of airspace in that cone now. You have to kind of factor all that in. So when you do the math on that, you might have dropped down to anywhere from like 13 to 10 square inches of port per cube. So, and that'll drastically change tuning. Will it help? Maybe, or it might hurt you. It all depends on the setup and the sub, and you know, there's a lot of factors that go into it. When I design stuff like this, I design it to run with the subs inverted. But there are definitely benefits to running like this. I mean, I wouldn't do it in a prefab box for 210s in the hatchback. It just wouldn't be beneficial at all. You know, but when you get into stuff like this, especially fourth orders with that sealed section, you know, if you're playing and you get some good voltage drop and you're just getting carried away with the knob giving demo after demo after demo, you know, the old coils might be getting a little stinky and they might be letting a little magic smoke out. And when you let the magic smoke out, you can't put it back. So with that sealed section, you will never know. There's no way to know. And that's why a lot of guys that run them old fourth orders, you know, they flip the subs up like this so you can get all the smell coming right up here to your nose, and you can put your peepers back there and look at them. You know, you can reach back here and grab a booty to feel how hot it's getting. So that's a benefit when you do like sixth order, fourth order, you know, in a wall configuration. You can just kind of, you know, reach back there and grab and see what's going on. Not to mention they look so damn good like that, you know. I really do like the look of having the booties up. But, you know, when you're dealing with small enclosures that wasn't designed to run this way, you know, your port area really comes into play with when you do invert, you're dropping square inches of port. And a lot of people never calculate that in or even think about it. Hell, I didn't in my wife's Blazer. I was like, well, it don't seem like the subs are really happy playing with both windows down with the booties up. We'll shrink that enclosure volume a little bit. Wrong. Hell no. Sixth orders like this with that small port in the back, they seem to like low cone area or low port area. in my experience, they seem to be happier, windier and everything with a little less port area. Man, when I shrunk them motors in, that port area like skyrocketed. Because I took away airspace for the same size port. That caused the square inches of port per cube to go up. Yeah, I wasn't thinking about that when old Jerry done dropped the ball. But now, let's get into another question that everybody seems to get wrong. You inverted your subs. Do you need to reverse the polarity? Which means now you're wiring your amplifier ground to the hot on the sub and the hot to the ground. No, it don't matter at all. I've tried it every which way from Sunday. It makes absolutely no difference. None. I tested it like that. Nothing. Really, you know, as long as them cones all move the same direction, it does not matter. But now, if I had a 6.5 with 2 subs up here on this front, and they had the motors in, obviously, those two would have to be reversed from these. That they would have to be different because you kind of want everything moving in unison. So if I left everything wired normal while these cones, the back of these cones would be moving up, the ones in the front would be moving in, and that would not work. So yeah, only if like you could have one inverted and one in normal, and as long as one of the two is reversed, everything's going to be fine. So I hope I cleared this whole thing up for somebody. You know, I kind of went over the pros and cons of doing it. And in a 6, it doesn't matter as long as the lower chamber was designed to run the woofers that way, whether they're motors in or motors up. As long as it was designed to do that, it doesn't really matter. And with a 6th order, I mean, the magic smoke's going to come out the pipe back there, you know, the rear port. So it's not as detrimental as like a 4th. I would never do a 4th order with the motor in the sealed section just because it can't get cooler air to cool. You can't smell when something's going wrong. You can't see the magic smoke when that happens. There's just a lot of things working against you in that fact. But, you know, a 6th order, they probably cool a little better like this because you got air coming out that port whipping across the motors. But even if the motors were in, there's so much air going in and out the port that they'll still cool a little bit. The magic smoke can come out the port. That'd probably look pretty cool, right? You know, the rear port smoking. You just can't reach back and grab a booty and feel the heat on them, but it don't really matter. But definitely 4th, I would do them inverted. But you guys with the small ported boxes wondering, you know, when you deal with small stuff like that, if it's a prefab, it's going to be a shot in the dark, man. It is definitely going to be a shot in the dark. Like it was the enclosure just thrown together with too much port. So inverting the sub might help. But when you get into bigger custom-made enclosures, it probably ain't going to do you any good to invert them subs if it was made for them to be in. But with bigger wall builds and stuff, I'd say the majority of them are built to run inverted. But a lot of this comes down to the math on your subwoofer itself, like the TS parameters. What does it want? But how many square inches of port is the enclosure gonna have if you invert them plus mounting them regular? And somebody did ask me in here one day, like, I don't know if it was a 6th order question or just a ported enclosure question in general, about how many square inches of port per cube. As a baseline, when I design an enclosure, you know, the little just ported boxes, not 6th order, just ported boxes, I like to start out as a baseline around 15 square inches of port per cube. And then things can change depending upon like X-Max is a big factor that'll play into this when you build ported enclosures. Some subs, you know, if they got like 32, 35 millimeters of X-Max, you might want to bump it up a little bit. when you get into sixth orders, everything you know about ported enclosures go out the window when you deal with sixth orders. They're just a monster all on their own. You know, they like things different. So there's that. But I hope this helps somebody today. I appreciate everybody that watches my videos, especially if you watch to the end. You're the real VIPs. I know they probably only like 4 of you that watch all this crap, but I'm just trying to help somebody. But if you could like hit the old like button, you know, the thumbs up, that would really help me a lot. I think the more likes I get on videos, the more they start putting on the recommended page. I don't know. You know, I ain't been monetized. I ain't been in a partnership on here, not even a month yet, and I've made very little money. I mean, it was like a bad month when I got paid on TikTok. But yeah, maybe if I get some likes on here, that'll help things along. And leave a comment down there, you know, about anything. You know, tell me my hat is garbage. I mean, it's one of them. I got it free, guys, when I bought some wheel cleaner. But yeah, tell me my hat's ugly or whatever. I don't care. Comments are comments, and they help. I do try to read through the comments. It's just I work long hours, so when I get home, I try to, you know, get caught up on the social media. I try to talk to the wife and have conversation with her about how her day was. And then I do try to get on YouTube and go into the comments and answer some of them. So I mean, I try, guys. I have a lot going on. Not so much on TikTok, man. Them comments on there are just like, can I play the hills? Which I always play the hills. I don't like the hills no more. But yeah, it is what it is. Anyway, guys, thank you for watching. I am going to try to go to TDH. Not 100% sure if I'm going to take the old Jeep, the Blazer. I'm still waiting on one sub for the Blazer and do a little port work. And it's been too cold on my days off, or it's been raining. So I ain't had time to do anything with the damn Blazer. But we're trying, guys. But I'm going to try to go to TDH. Going to try to bring one of the 2 vehicles. I'm getting ready to swap subs in here. And I wouldn't take it to TDH with them. We're going to do the Genesis little brother in here, which is the G2 Leviathans. Just for test purposes. Paul has realized this Jeep is a really good testing platform for subwoofers. Because apparently the closure in here works really well. So we're going to be testing them, you know, to see if they do some hair tricks. If I can pop a 160 out of them. How well they hold up. What power I can put on them. Since I still have structural damages. AMM1. Shout out. I only shot that dude out. But anyway, thank you guys for watching this. Hit the like. If you like what I'm doing here, hit subscribe. And leave a comment. All right, guys. I appreciate every one of you. Peace out, guys. And as always, face on.